Hello, I am Professor Sucher Kim from the Catholic University. Let me present my paper. The title is a study on the analysis of middle school mathematics textbook from the perspective of mathematizing. In the beginning, I want to tell you about SoCoRI. SoCoRI means students who give up mathematics in Korea. The problem of SoCoRI in Korea is one of the issues that continues to be mentioned. Recently, the Gangwon Office of Education Researches and develops alternative textbook with civic educational organization to reduce the number of SoCoRI. Based on the pilot test of 33 schools, alternative textbooks were distributed to more than 7,000 students in 40 middle school in Gangwon-do this year. One medium mentioned that this dissemination of mathematics textbook for memorization and teacher-centered classes were cause of SoCoRI. Another media reports that alternative textbook encourages students to understand the basic principle rather than to memorize mathematical formulas. If so, what is the content of alternative textbook reported in the media different from those of authorized textbook? To answer this question, it is necessary to compare and analyze authorized textbook and alternative textbook. The purpose of this study is to examine the difference between the general textbook and alternative textbook. By analyzing alternative mathematics textbook from the point of view of mathematizing, I will focus on the teaching and learning examples presented in the alternative textbook to find out if they are inducing guided reinvention to students or helping to form mathematical knowledge from the real-world context. Methodology, the subjective. The subject of this study are 6 mathematics textbooks applied to 7th grade in Korea. One of these is alternative textbook, 5 are general authorized textbook. The below called the unauthorized textbook. Methodology and 2 ways of method is following. First, analyzing outline of the mathematics textbook applied 2015 revision curriculum. And the second, analyzing an alternative mathematics textbook from the perspective of mathematizing. And the analysis of outline refers to analyzing the flow of mathematics textbook content, such as instruction, development, finishing. First of all, we analyze the outline of 2 areas, number and operation, and probability and statistics. And then the second, we set up an analysis framework as shown in table 1, like this. The main content is reinvention of mathematical knowledge, and then mathematics tied to real-world context. And then the detailed content, the contents of textbook guide students to reinvention mathematical knowledge, and then are the materials of inquiry activities well connected to the real-world context. Okay. And then we save cases of an alternative textbook that corresponds to teaching and learning principles of mathematizing, such as the reinvention of mathematical knowledge and mathematics connected with the real-world context. Representative examples of those cases are interpreted qualitatively according to the above analysis and framework. Result. The first is analysis of outline in the textbook. The alternative textbook tends to induce students' voluntary activities and then define mathematical terms and explain concepts, while the authorized textbook is the opposite. A table below 2. Look at the table 2. This is alternative textbook, and then this authorized textbook. Authorized textbook have some same patterns. For example, the terms of prime factor and prime factorizations are defined first, and then the understanding of concept is induced through exercise. On the other hand, alternative textbook, the activity of classifying natural numbers representing the area of a rectangle into prime number and composite number in use. The second result is followed by analyzing the contents of the alternative textbook. The contents flow of the divisor and multiple unit in the number and operation area. From the point of view mathematizing, teaching and learning principle, the contents flow the divisor and multiple unit of the alternative textbook is shown figure 1. And in the first step, the teacher presents scale lattice with horizontal and vertical scales of these of one each, and asks students to draw rectangle areas 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. In the next step, the teacher instructs the students to find all possible horizontal and vertical lengths using the rectangular draws. And in the final step, the teacher encourages students to present and discuss the mathematical properties they discovered. This activity and this process can be seen as a scene where students experience the reinvention of mathematical knowledge, and therefore it can be seen as a scene to help students increase their creative thinking. In addition, the scene that allows students draw a rectangle corresponding to a given area using the real-life materials of scale lattice, it can be seen an attempt to do the mathematics connected with the real-world context. And then the second result, the contents of flow of students' stem and leaf plot units in the probability and statistic area. This activity, the teacher encourages students to solve real-life problems such as school attendance problem like this, and then have them organize and analyze the data themselves. Students recognize the merit of stem and leaf plots and discover mathematical knowledge in the course of explanation 1, figure 2. As shown in explanation 2, a student distinguishes between stem and leaves leaves in the process of organizing the with of their colleagues in sports club and naturally understand the terms stem and leaf word. The last conclusion. This study was conducted to compare and acknowledge the difference between the authorized textbook and the alternative textbook at middle school in Korea. According to the analysis of textbook outline, the alternative textbook tend to induce students voluntary activities and then define mathematical terms and explain concepts, while the authorized textbook were opposite. The most striking aspect of the outline analysis is that while authorized textbook are teacher-centered, but alternative textbook is student-centered. In other words, alternative textbook embodies the learning principle of mathematizing. Therefore, the research and determined that the alternative textbook need to be analyzed qualitatively in terms of mathematizing. There are two criteria for analysis of the alternative textbook. The first is guidance of students' reinvention, and second, the connection between the real-world context and mathematics. In number and operation area, 5 authorized textbook explain mathematical terms or concept first, and then use examples and problem-solving activities to encourage the learners to conceptualize. Alternative textbook, on the other hand, induce a learner's activity fully and then defines mathematical terms and explain the concept. In the probability and statistic area, alternative textbook use actual data, while authorized textbook used artificial and actual data. Learners' activities and definition of mathematical terms are tended to be similar the number and operation area. When analyzing the contents of alternative textbook from the point of view mathematizing, both two areas induced learners to reinvent mathematical knowledge and use the real-world context. Thank you.